America to bowl first.
It's Weber Cup 10-pin bowling here at the Goresbrook Leisure Centre in Dagenham. Team Europe leading Team USA 9-7. After leading 9-5 at one point, we're now back with doubles. And here's the man, Dino Castillo, who's just pulled off the shock of the tournament, beating Torgerson. And Torgerson has to face him again, this time in doubles. Castillo teams with the USA skipper Tim Mack. Torgerson with the European skipper Thomas Leanderson. And doesn't quite get the start he wants there, Castillo. So that leaves Mack to clean up.
See the ball just drifting there, not really making a move back to the pocket. Could easily have left the 10-pin with that, but Tim left with a simple spare now.
It's effortlessly done. And Mack is very happy with the state of this game at the moment. That win by Castillo over Torgerson, a real bonus for Team USA. And if they can win this one, and then Mack can knock off Leanderson in the battle of the captains, we'll be all square at 9-all. Thomas Leanderson is the lead-off man for Europe in this doubles match. Yep, great start from the captain. Hasn't he bowled well in this cup?
Yes, he's kept the ball there or thereabouts for most part, and repped the rewards, including that shot there. Perfect in the pocket. The question is, can Tora make it a double? He's been struggling.
Tora's such an experienced campaigner that you wonder what kind of help his captain can actually give him. Now Castillo, he needs strikes just to let Mack get a chance at bowling first. Every time you bowl a spare, well, that's exactly what you need. That was important. It means Mack will be up next, bowling up the full deck. And this is the interesting ball, isn't it, Richard? How much did that singles match take out of Torgerson? Because he was playing mind games with that lane, and the lane was winning.
Well, there must be a lot of doubts in his mind at the moment. He's got to try and put them to the back. Execute well. See if he can get some carry.
Yes. Boy, he needed that.
It just shows you the mental resilience of the man.
You can almost sense the relief in the crowd as well, can't you? As they saw him suffering in that game against Castillo. It's like, oh yeah, I can still do it. I can still play this game. Here's a man that can play it. Probably the man with the fastest delivery of any of the 10 on show here at the Weber Cup. Nobody bowls a ball quite like Tim Mack. The backswing this fella gets. If we get a chance to look at his action, I mean, nobody has backswing in this field quite like Tim Mack.
That's right, and he does bowl it very, very fast, but I've seen him bowling it faster. You think that he is playing within himself in this tournament?
Yes, comfortably. But it was the power that produced that. Here's that backswing we were talking about. So much going on with that ball. But the pin action took care of the 7. So a double for USA. Europe also on a double. 3 in a row. Turkey awaits Thomas Leanderson. Got it. Interesting set of reactions there from the 4 players, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is a great shot from Thomas. He's playing an unusual shot for the tournament, really. He's about the only person out there on second arrow or thereabouts, and having a little bit of trouble with the ball return on the way back.
Yeah, the pins can't stop him, but the ball return will get you every time.
That'll teach him to look where he's going.
Now Castillo needs to just keep this pace going very wide, let it hook back in. Oh, tremendous scoring here in this doubles match. We're at that time of this cup competition where every game now becomes so important. A win here for USA and the deficit is 1. Europe can make it a 3-point swing. And if Torgerson's back on his game, you still have to fancy them. But I tell you what, the way Castillo's playing, and the way we know Mack can play, this one could be a real cliffhanger. Can Torgerson stay there? Yes!
Well done, Tora. Went through all sorts of agony in the previous match. He's got it together again. Wasn't really sure from the first shot because he did get the odd strike in the previous game, but now he's got 2 in a row. His partner's got 2 in a row, 4-bagger for Europe. 10-pin lead.
Yeah, it's just to think that Castillo led off with a spare. Since then, strikes all the way. And I'd bet on Tim Mack to maintain that streak right now.
The ball did too much, came up too heavy. That's going out through 4th arrow. Out to around about the 5 board, but just coming back a little bit too heavy.
Castillo safely disposes of that. But another spare. Europe haven't had a spare yet. So just slipping behind here. They need Europe to make a mistake. Now, will it be Leanderson, the captain? His only problem so far has been running into the ball return. And a superb cup. Can he keep it going? Look at that, look at that, look at that! And he treats the ball return with a bit of respect there as well this time.
Well, you better treat that ball return with respect because it's immovable.
Yeah, it's not going to go anywhere, is it?
No.
So 5 strikes for Europe, just 3 and a couple of spares for USA, so they're in just a little touch of trouble. What on earth was this all about?
Well, I'm not 100% sure. Ball looked good enough to me.
What's he auditioning for? A part in Frankenstein the movie? If you get a good strike like that and then you pull a face like that, it tells you something's wrong somewhere.
Oh, who knows? Only Tim. And he may have imparted the information to his partner.
Torgerson trying to keep the streak going. No. Oh, very, very expensive. That's a real nasty one.
Tough spare for Thomas. He's got to hit the 2-pin very thin on the left-hand side and flick it over towards the 10. Requires great accuracy. Really, he'll be trying to hit the 4-pin almost full in the face, and he'll have just about the right point of impact on the 2-pin if he does that.
No, almost, but almost is not enough.
So he just got a bit too much of the 2-pin and it goes behind the 10. That was a tough spare.
The open frame means Team USA can win if they can strike out from here. Long, long way to go. Castillo How quickly it can change around. Look at that. You leave an open frame, and suddenly your opponents are on top of you and all over you. And the big question is now, Torgerson next up. How does he respond? As we see the Castillo strike, but really all eyes on Torgerson.
Yeah, it's just when you thought he was getting it back together again, he let go that loose delivery last frame. And
for me, Tora's been the story of this Weber Cup. He comes out, he bowls a 299. We thought we were on for a 300, and since then he's just right off the boil and cannot get it back. Struggling for consistency, struggling for form, battling with this lane, and that never had a hope in hell.
He knows this is hurting because he's not giving his partner any opportunity to get doubles, and they're trailing in the match now. So,
and there was no luck there, Richard, was there? That was just not a good ball from Tora.
No, poor delivery.
Yes, he had to get that one.
Good spare by Thomas, but Tora really needs to give him the opportunity to make doubles.
Now they're really, really good mates, these two. Leanderson is the skipper, but what can you say to Torgerson, a man who's been there and done it all? I mean, just a little word there of encouragement, I guess.
Tora was telling me that he's made a few changes to his game before he came here, and he was starting to feel really happy. Maybe he's just forgetting about those changes he was trying to make. And
here's Mack looking to really ram home that advantage. No, the 9-pin. That may be the biggest break Team Europe got. There wasn't a whole lot wrong with that ball, you know.
It was a good shot from the Mack attack, but just cut straight through the 5-pin.
Just the tiniest touch on the 9, not enough to knock it off.
The ball is finishing very, very strongly on this lane, and players have left that 9-pin off the pocket hit quite a few times. And the left-hander's the 8. Time running out for Europe to get back into this. Can Torgerson find a good shot here, Nick?
Well, this is the issue, isn't it? By his standards, he's having a nightmare. Gets it back. But I still don't think this fella's entirely happy, you know.
No, I thought he was after 2. You certainly can't say that he's happy after 1 now, but at least he's given his partner an opportunity to get them back into the game now. Thomas has been playing really well, hitting the pocket with every one of his first shots. So
yes, this one really in the balance, isn't it? 3 pins the advantage, but USA working a spare, Europe working a strike. One little lapse from anybody could be crucial. Mack, I thought that one was going wide. And that's the lapse we were talking about, and of all people, it's Tim Mack to do it.
Well, really, he's been struggling almost as bad as Tora. He's had one that's come up a bit too heavy, and this one drifting a bit too light.
Well, would you believe it? If you had to pick 2 bowlers for consistency, you'd pick Mack and you'd pick Torgerson, wouldn't you? And yet both of them have been really fighting this lane.
Can Dino get the bounce out? Because it's about his only hope.
Unlucky. Couldn't get it. And that throws it right back at Team Europe now with Leanderson, who's been the embodiment of calm. And Mack just... So interesting. You talk to Tim Mack after practice sessions, he is absolutely full of this lane and how it's working, and he had those 18 strikes in practice. Put him on there for real, suddenly this lane bites back. Leanderson. Yes, that's probably enough for Team Europe here.
Well, it's a good fight back for Europe. Torgerson found it just in time to give Thomas the opportunity, and he took it. Good mix on the pins.
Now then, the smiles come now as we go into frame 10. Europe would have to throw it away from here, but if we talked about Torgerson's problems, what about Tim Mack?
Almost a repetition of the last shot, and he could easily have left the same thing, but just a single pin for Dino to negotiate.
Tim just looks baffled by this to me. You know, this lane, in practice, he can do no wrong on it. But when push comes to shove, he's having some real trouble, and that just about sums it up, doesn't it?
Well, that's a very poor shot. I mean, even if they are trailing in the game and looking like it's over, Dino really should have made this spare comfortably. That is just a lapse of concentration.
Kind of sums up the American effort in this match. Who would have believed that? 2 open frames to finish. So anything but a trip down the gutter should do here for Torgerson.
Well, both Torgerson and Mack really suffering out there. Unable to deliver consistently good shots. But in the end, it was the consistency of Leanderson that really won this one for Europe.
Yes, absolutely. This was a real captain's innings from Thomas Leanderson. That was academic anyway, because the point was assured. But it'll give Torgerson one more chance to have a little practice and just try and get this lane worked out.
Yes, full marks to that man, Thomas. He's capitalised on every opportunity that Torgerson gave him.
Well, he finishes with 9 as well. Torgerson, but an important win, that one for Team Europe. And it means that 3-point advantage is back. Europe beat Team USA 232 to 203.